asshole for telling my wife why our daughter doesn't trust her. Lurker here. So for the last few years, me, 36, and my wife, 34, have had a very strained relationship due to the way my daughter and wife interact. It started when my daughter was 13. She came to tell her mother and confided her feelings about our family friend's son. My wife decided that it was too cute to share and told everyone during a family barbecue, including the boy. This embarrassed my daughter, and I told my wife to stop as this made our daughter upset, but my wife justified it at the time because they were just kids. I've always known my wife has a hard time keeping secrets, but I thought she would have at least tried since this was a touchy subject, especially for a growing teenager with her first real crush. After this incident, I started noticing things like this more, like my wife openly telling everyone our daughter's business. Admittedly, most of these incidents were unnoticed by me for years because they were usually conversations between my wife and her friends when I wasn't around, as she didn't like it when I interrupted girl time. However, I am noticing more now, like my wife telling everyone about my daughter's business, like texts, phone calls, and other secrets that she told her mom in the past when believing they wouldn't be told. As everything progressed, my daughter started getting closer to me more, and I became the default parent who deals with medical issues, school drama, and crushes, which has upset my wife because my daughter refuses to have girl talk with her anymore and is usually cold and doesn't like spending time with her. My wife decided to try and punish our daughter after finding out she got her first boyfriend and wasn't told. Our daughter is 16 now, and I don't feel like it's necessary to punish her for these things when she has made a conscious decision to protect her privacy. I know she still loves her mom, but I understand not sharing these things. She doesn't want to get spread or blown out of proportion. I came home to my wife yelling at our daughter and demanding her phone, her laptop, etc. all over the situation, which it made me very angry because my daughter was in tears and she was still my little girl and doesn't deserve to be punished over something her own mother caused. I told my wife to leave her alone and that we would talk, but I also told her to give back the items, which my wife refused on and started screaming at me in front of our daughter, something I don't like. I like to have calm conversations away from our daughter to prevent making her feel scared or uncomfortable. Eventually, after multiple attempts to calm her down so we could discuss this properly, she grabbed my arm and started digging her nails into my skin, and I had enough by then. I started ranting about how she has always told our daughter's business to people, and how basically the whole family and friends around us know everything about our daughter's personal life and medical history, and then I told her it was her fault our daughter doesn't trust her anymore, which made my wife start crying, and she locked herself in the bedroom while I started comforting our daughter and went out to get her some dinner. But now I'm home and I'm getting some serious silent treatment from my wife, and I'm wondering if I could have possibly said something different. But I'm tired of her blaming her daughter every time she doesn't get told something.
Yeah. It's... Oh, man. Yeah, imagine your mom just... She got her period today. She had her first kiss. Oh, she likes that boy. You would stop telling your parent things if they told all the friends and neighbors everything. So that's completely reasonable. He's kind of wondering, like, did I fuck up? I mean, I guess, if we had to, like, on the surface, no, yeah, your wife's the bad person, blah, 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 you're the great parent. But if you think about it, he says, I told my wife to leave her alone and that we would talk. But I also told her to give her back the items, which my wife refused and started screaming at me in front of our daughter. Something that I don't like. I like to have calm conversations away from our daughter, prevent making her feel scared or uncomfortable. Well, maybe you shouldn't have called your wife out in front of your daughter then.
Yeah.
You're like, I like to have calm conversations in front of my wife. Okay, well, you are parenting as a team. So I would think that, hey, if I came home and Teresa's yelling at our imaginary kids that don't exist, I'm going to back up Teresa. No matter what. In front of the kids, I'm going to back up Teresa. And then after the kid, even if I don't agree with Teresa taking away the phone and the laptop and stuff, then after the kid goes to the room, then I'm going to have a conversation with Teresa about parenting and our parenting styles and how, hey, I don't think we're right here. I think, why are we like this? Okay. And then have a calm conversation. Like, you realize, like, she didn't want to tell you because you tell everybody her information and she just wants to hide her privacy. So it's not fair for you to punish her after that. And then figure out a way how to, like, move forward as a team.
Yeah.
And if you can bring sense into your partner of, like, hey, we should return her devices.
Yeah.
Then you go return her devices. But you did kind of call out your wife in front of your daughter saying, give her back her stuff.
I think in his mind, he was trying to like de-escalate the situation. And if he doubled down and like supported her, then it would have made it worse maybe in his eyes. Like, but I think the damage was already done.
The damage was
Wife already
done.
asked
Yeah.
for, she already took all of the daughter's stuff. Child is not going to get over that. Like, damage is done. So yeah, I think the approach of what you said, and keep in mind, we are amateurs. We don't have kids. I feel like there is
We're
no
not
right or wrong.
We're not even amateurs. We're like
Yeah, we're not amateurs.
We're like
We're
outside-
unqualified.
we're outside
completely
analysts.
unqualified.
outside analysts.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying like if you do this, like you're a bad parent. Like I think there is no right or wrong. You just kind of, I don't know, have to work with your partner and see what is going to be the best outcome for your child, like to not come out of this as like an adult who resents their parents or has a lot of baggage. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just do your best.
I would also think that is there something to the fact that it's been 3 years, right? She said when she was 13, that's when she started to separate from her mom, and I became the de facto parent. It's been 3 years. Have you not had a conversation with your wife, like after that 13-year-old picnic scenario of like, hey,
Yeah.
like you
Stop
embarrassed our
talking about
daughter.
her.
Like, stop telling everybody about her stuff. Like,
Yeah.
how many times have you had that conversation?
Yeah.
And what has your wife said? Has she said, fuck you, I do what you want? I do what I want?
Yeah, right?
She said it's not that big of a deal. How much have those conversations happened where we're popping off here?
Agreed. I think the wife is like attention seeking. I think this is like she's living vicariously through her daughter.
That's
like,
it.
She loves the drama. She's getting it from her daughter.
Well, no, I think it's more of like her daughter is her life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
she wants to
she
share
doesn't
everything.
she doesn't view her daughter as her own person. She views her daughter as like her
Source
possession.
of entertainment.
Like her possession, kind of, right? Like, you know, when you have a friend and they confide in you, you tell them something, you know, some people are gossipy, but most times, like, you're like, that's not really my information to tell. It's not my information to tell, but that's my daughter.
So I can.
My daughter is my information.
Yeah.
It's mine.
You're
I
entitled
can,
to it.
yeah, I can tell people her business because she's my daughter. There's a little bit of a possession factor there that I think goes into it where, you know, you wouldn't necessarily do that with your sibling.
Yeah.
You wouldn't necessarily do that with a best
That's
friend or
true.
work colleague. That's my daughter.
like-
I raised her. I put in all the hard effort. I clothe her. I keep her roof over her head. It's like possession-y
Yeah.
is where that entitlement comes from of like, why can't I gossip about my daughter to my friends? That's
I
my
gave her this
daughter.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where that
That's a crazy
Kinda comes
way
from.
to think, though. Like, if that is you, you need to look inward
right?
and get therapy, please. Top comment says, not the asshole, but when your daughter gets her devices back, tell her to change all of her passwords to her social media. Her mom is too involved in her business and is the true definition of your parent being your biggest hater. She is going out of her way to embarrass your daughter. OP replies, sorry, do you want to say your thoughts?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, yeah, that was smart. Change all your passwords. And like, how do you balance, like, that's tough to balance because you gotta be a united front. You know, parenting, you're agreeing to raise a child, you gotta be a united front. And when one parent takes the punishment too far, you don't love it, but you can't be the one who turns around and be like, hey, don't tell your mom, but here's your laptop. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you gotta stick by your partner.
I agree with that.
And how do you bridge that gap to your daughter of saying, hey, I don't fully feel this way. I'm sorry you're going through this. Let's go get you some ice cream. That's got to be a difficult thing to balance because you can't be the good parent while you're the parents being the bad parent, because if you're not the united front, it'll make your child hate your partner even more, which will then make your life more difficult in the future.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Being a parent sounds hard.
sounds like a lot of work. Good luck to my sister.
OP replied to that comment, says, "Don't worry, I got her devices back immediately after the fight because I refused to punish my daughter for having a life outside of family. I will tell her to change her passwords though. That is something I didn't think about before, but I don't doubt that my wife would try this in a desperate attempt to find out things."
See, this is where, like, I don't think this is
At
not
what point
my
do you do what's best
version.
though for your child versus your relationship? Like,
But is that still the best for your child?
I think
In the short run, yeah. But I think having the communication with your parent, because what's going to happen when he's not home again?
that's what I mean. Like,
He didn't solve anything. He didn't get to the root of the problem with his wife. A conversation should have been had with his wife, and his wife should have been the one giving the laptop back and apologizing.
yeah.
But she doesn't feel the need to because she's in possession mode.
Then I think that that's a relationship issue.
Yeah.
Like, that is something.
I don't get how you could stay in the relationship with your
Yeah.
wife of just undercutting her, undermining her,
Yeah.
being like taking the laptop and giving it back to your daughter and be like, yeah, your wife shouldn't have done that. That is like boggling my mind because I'm like, that's the opposite of united front. That's just showing your child that you're two different parents. That's only going to make her resent her mom more. The
Yeah.
best case scenario, the mom needs to give it back and be like, I'm sorry I overreacted. I'm hurt because of this. And maybe they can have a heart to heart of like, hey, yeah, I didn't want to tell you because every time I tell you, you tell people my business and I just want my privacy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. There's an edit that says, "I've read many comments talking about my wife. I am seriously taking this all in. I don't really want my daughter to think this is okay for her future husband to treat her this way. So I'm requesting my wife attends therapy by herself before she can join me and my daughter in family therapy, because I am not putting my daughter in a situation where her mother will probably use the therapy sessions to punish her, which people have mentioned. If she refuses, I will look into separation because I have realized my daughter needs her dad to keep her safe, and she won't be safe if her mother is acting this way and normalizing this behavior. I am scared for my future, honestly, but I am so hopeful that I can show my daughter she is loved and safe. I will be sending my daughter to stay with her aunt for the rest of the week while I have this conversation because I am not taking any chances that she'll have to listen to an argument between me and my wife."
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like, honestly, I think, like, if it's coming to, your thoughts of divorce, and you are like, okay, do I choose my wife or do I choose my daughter, my kid? I think you have to choose your kid. If you're already leaning in that trajectory, like,
I think so.
I think you have to choose your kid. So I don't fault him for, like, giving back.
But this is what I mean, where it's like you're trying to like teach your daughter like that's not the relationship that you want to be in the future, and being a divided mom and dad like that, and you stay together. You
If they
you
stay
you would
together.
be teaching your kid.
Yes, but I think
That's
if
what
it's like
relationships
going
are.
towards divorce,
No,
like,
you need to divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, tough. It's just a tough balance.
I'm boggled.
Yeah. Alrighty, back to you.